Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. CARPHA warns of dangers of discriminating against monkeypox sufferers. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Wednesday, 3rd August 2022. Details when we return.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. The Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, has issued a call for member states to not stigmatize and discriminate against those who test positive for monkeypox. During a virtual media briefing on Wednesday last, Executive Director Dr. Joy St. John says stigmatization and discrimination can potentially deter people from coming forward and accessing services. Zane Romulus of the DBS News World has more.
In a media release on Saturday, the World Health Organization, the WHO, identified one particular group that may be more at risk of contracting monkeypox. It said 99% of monkeypox cases worldwide were in men, and of those, 98% involved men who identified themselves as gay, bisexual, and other men who have sex with men. While this may be so, there is no root discrimination as anyone is at risk of contracting monkeypox, says Dr. Joy St. John, the head of the Caribbean Public Health Organization, CARPHA. Stigmatization and discrimination can potentially deter persons from coming forward and accessing services. This, she explained, can lead to cases going undetected by health authorities, thereby increasing the spread of the disease.
In the Caribbean, we saw a lot of people being discriminated against initially for COVID-19. And then we got to a state where, you had COVID-19, I had it too. We need to have that understanding in the way that we approach this monkeypox outbreak as well. Not everyone who gets monkeypox is from a community. Sometimes it is children because of the circumstances in their particular neighborhood or village. But we don't need to have a negative outlook on this.
Globally, there have been over 18,000 confirmed cases of monkeypox in over 70 countries. 9 cases of monkeypox have been recorded in the region thus far in the Bahamas, Barbados, Bermuda, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and Martinique. CARPHA, however, is not predicting any rapid spread of the disease in the region. St. John expressed the view that not only had the Caribbean learned from the COVID-19 experience, but it is also taking notice of what is happening globally to fashion a proper response.
We do not expect any real, establishment of monkeypox, either in one country or more than one country. Yes, we expect importations, but the health services are so on the alert. It is going to be unlikely, unless people are hiding, it's going to be unlikely that we will not capture cases and contain the epidemic.
The head of the Caribbean Public Health Organization is urging all communities to be alert and aware of monkeypox. CARPHA, she says, will continue to educate the vulnerable at-risk group and the general public on how to prevent contracting and spreading monkeypox. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
People in the Jamaican village where the young man recently took the life of a woman and her 4 children have had their time to speak out. Krista Campbell of TVJ News has that story.
A rainy day in Cocoa Peace, Chapelton, Clarendon, mirroring the mood of relatives and neighbors days before they lay 34-year-old Kemisha Wright and her 4 girls, 15-year-old Kimani Smith, 10-year-old Shemani Smith, 5-year-old Kafana Smith, and 23-month-old Tishana Henry to rest. TVJ News went to the area to seek reactions to news that the man accused of slashing their throats has confessed to the murders.
But still not satisfied, brethren. Try not can bring them back far.
Earl Smith is the grandfather of the 3 older deceased girls. Like him, residents say it's still hard to come to terms with the crime that has left an eternal stain in their community.
I should never bury them. I them should I come bury me. As the grand pick with them. Where me there now? Me there, so. And then put down. I got himself a tickle right now. Yeah. Every time I remember. It's like saying nothing left in our empty.
Everybody feeling it today. The boys in a shock in the whole world. Yeah? Boys in a shock in the whole world. And the boy even left a big dent in the community where left one history next 500 years. Something like this after talk about.
Now residents contend there was never any doubt in their minds who had committed the gruesome murders.
That boy a sharp knife and the people say I'm going to murder some people. We don't know who I'm talking. I can't believe saying one people.
But now that he has confessed, a bit of relief and one lingering question.
Me like how he admit saying kill him. He kill people him. But what me that want to ask him now? Why? In personal, why? Why you killing you them? What give him that reason to do that? Brutal hack.
Now that a confession has been made, it remains to be seen if the Director of Public Prosecutions will still ask for the death penalty. Residents have their own thoughts on the matter.
I like a youth like that. Because you know justice can't come out of this again, you know. When you get out of the country than 25 years, when you know them can't live out.
Death squad is that boy I should have even put for. Is that boy I should never try a court.
The 34-year-old mother and her 4 children will be laid to rest on Sunday. Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
In light of ExxonMobil's recent double oil discoveries, which bring to 7 the total number of findings for the year thus far, economist Elson Lowe believes that government can do even more for its people. More details from Antonio Day of HGP Nightly News.
Those benefits, that has not really reached the broader population. Those on the lower end of the income scale for one, but even those middle-class citizens have not really been able to feel that benefit.
That was PNCR Youth Policy Advisor and economist Elson Lowe during an exclusive interview with 90 News. The government of St. Lucia recently announced a 1% wage and salary increase for public servants, an additional $4.5 million per annum, as a relief measure to the increased cost of living brought on by the global inflation in oil and gas prices consequent to the Ukraine-Russia war. Lowe noted that if St. Lucia, a non-oil producing nation, is devising solutions to mitigate the woes of high living costs, how is it that Guyana, which has a thriving oil and gas sector, is not doing the same? He proffered that the one-off cash grants are definitely not the way.
That Guyana has more barrels of oil per person than Saudi Arabia. People don't know this. It is also interesting that Guyana is currently producing about 50% more than Trinidad, even at Trinidad's peak. Huge amounts of production, but are we seeing substantial benefits for the broader population? We've seen even the stock market in Guyana from 2018 to now go up 5 times over. That means that some wealthy people are 5 times richer than they would have been, back in 2018. Are you as Guyanese 5 times richer than you were in 2018?
The economist alluded to the $44 billion supplementary budget, which was recently proposed in the National Assembly, noting that nothing was set aside for public servants. However, $3.5 billion was allotted to the Gaisiku, an industry that is non-profitable. This course of action, according to Lowe, is callous.
In the last budget, it put less than 1% of the national budget towards cost of living mitigation. Less than 1%. And I remind your viewers that that is the largest budget in the country's history by far. This supplemental budget, which is another $4 billion, has virtually nothing for cost of living mitigation. There is nothing there for citizens to really benefit from cost of living mitigation.
The economist, in leveling criticisms at government for this course of action, reiterated his party's plan to proverbially hold government's feet to the fire. until they come up with holistic measures of relief to public servants. This is Antonio Day reporting for HEP 90 News.
Paradise Island Resort in the Bahamas joins in the campaign to end human trafficking in the Bahamas.
Well, if you visited the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort recently, you may have noticed a few eye-catching signs placed in public places. The message on the placards resounding loud and clear as the resort joins in on encouraging residents and their guests to be a part of ending human trafficking now. The awareness campaign comes just in time for the globally recognized World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, the United Nations acknowledged day aimed at bringing an end to the perplexing problem. To this end, officials at Atlantis have partnered with the Royal Bahamas Police Force to support a number of their awareness initiatives. Vienna Gardner is the Atlantis Resort's Vice President of Public Affairs and Special Projects.
The initial initiative was to send out a signal to persons who might be victims to say, get help. Get help. There are people that want to assist you. And then if someone is brave enough to do so, to also provide information as to where they might get help. And in working with the Trafficking in Persons Unit of the Ministry of National Security, we obtained the two best numbers that they thought were applicable for persons moving quickly to be able to call. And so we put the signage in public areas, in the restrooms, so that persons, both male and female, we don't want to leave our men out, so that both genders would be able to reach out for help if, in fact, they were in trouble.
In the meantime, in Barbados, sex workers are fearful of being attacked and abused while plying their trade.
That's according to President of the Global Adult Industry Association, Charlie Spice Lewis, who urged police to ramp up patrols in areas where sex workers are known to operate. His comments come in the wake of 44-year-old Guyanese sex worker Carolyn Baird being killed last Friday night.
The feeling is that they do not give sex workers the same attention when it comes to investigation as they do others. And also people who are from the criminal element, they too feel that police do not give as much attention to crimes committed against sex workers, and this empowers them more to commit crimes against sex workers. So to decriminalize it will remove those contributors, to crime against sex workers.
Hubbard's Multi-Department Mount Gay and Hubbard's Tire Bay, located at the Building Supplies Compound in Grand Anse, are reminding the motoring public that another round for licensing and inspection has begun. Just arrived on new shipments of quality furrowed and torque tires to fit all makes and models of vehicles at competitive pricing. Shop early to avoid the hassle of long lines. WhatsApp them on 473-405-5482. Hubbard's. Quality service, affordable prices.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.